Do you know whether or not your business needs to file the 1099 NEC form? If not, keep listening. I'm going to share some important information about this form, the three-step process I use to determine if my small business needs to complete that and file that form, and also how this form, completing it, can help you in your personal financial planning. So, as solo entrepreneurs, it is important for us to keep on top of not just our own personal financial planning, but also our business finances. So making sure we are understanding the nuances and rules of completing the different tax forms that the IRS has for our businesses to complete and submit will help us save money in the long run that we can use on our own long-term and short-term financial goals. So the form I'm going to focus on today is the 1099 NEC form. So what is that form? It is just a simple form that lets the IRS know whether or not you've paid $600 or more to any freelance consultant non-employee from your business. That's all it is. And the three-step process that I use is this. So number one, I confirm what the deadline is every year. It's typically the same every year, but I just want to make sure that it hasn't changed because sometimes deadlines change. And if I need an extension, I want to know what that extension is. So the first thing I do is to make sure I know what the deadline is so that I know how much time I have to prepare, get organized so that I can file the form if I need to file the form. So that's the first thing. So typically it's due January 31st of every year. And if you need an extension, it usually can get a 30-day extension. So a tip here is not to wait until January 31st to submit the form. So make sure it needs to be postmarked or e-filed before, and the IRS needs to have it by that deadline. So don't wait until the last minute. The next thing I do is really crucial. I reconcile my books for the year, because reconciling my books and knowing what my expenses are and who I paid and what I paid them and getting that all finalized and getting my books cleaned up for the year, that helps me to see very clearly, okay, who were the freelance, who were the consultants that I paid and how much did I pay them? So that'll tell me who I need to fill this form out for. So one of the tips that I do throughout the year to make that process a lot easier is that as I sign contracts with consultants or freelancers, I make sure I get their W-9 form completed because that provides their EIN or their social security number if they're not an official business. I put that into my system when I sign their contract and enter them into my accounting system. That is a type of information that needs to be included onto the 1099 NEC. So that saves me a lot of information and time at the end of the year in scrambling and trying to find that information, because if I put it in when they became a consultant and I brought them on board, it's already there. I don't have to worry about it. It's in the system. The next thing and final thing I do is file if I need to file. So, and I choose to e-file because I just find that it reduces errors, it's quicker, it's easier, a whole lot of, benefits to e-filing. And one of the tips for e-filing is making sure that you are using accounting software that offers e-filing of the 1099 NEC. That just makes it all streamlined, and it ends up just being a few clicks in your accounting software to both e-file with the IRS and make sure your contractor also gets a copy of that 1099 NEC before the deadline. So hope you found this information helpful. Thank you for listening. I hope you found this information useful. Remember, you can follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and you can also visit my website. Also remember that all the information provided in this podcast is meant for educational, general purposes only and is not intended to be personal financial advice. Until next time, this is Dawn Mabry Chestnut signing off.